Goedemorgen.
Voice on.
Rosemary, just a quick question. Are we a quorum yet? It's 1 minute to 9.
I'll be with you. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'll be with you in a few seconds. That's all. Speaker, I've counted 36 councillors present.
Thank you very much. That means we are a quorum, and it is now 9 o'clock, and I'm going to continue with this meeting. I'd like to start off by saying to welcoming the Executive Mayor, Alderman van Wyk, Executive Deputy Mayor, Councillor Reuben Fichland, the Chief Whip, Councillor Barnard, Alderman Petrus, Alderman Gericke, and Alder Lady Kritzinger. Welcome to the meeting. To all councillors, to the MM, and the directors, the administration, members of the press, and the public. Today is an important meeting. We have a lot to get through, and I therefore hope to get through it smoothly and without any hiccups. Before we start, I'd like to ask Councillor Smart if you would open for us in prayer, please. Councillor Smart, are you there, please? Stephanie, please. Councillor Smart. Stephanie, please unmute Mr. Councillor Smart.
Hi, Speaker. He is unmuted. His mic is not disabled.
Councillor Smart, just push your mic, mute, unmute. Councillor Smart, unmute your mic. There's no reason why you can't. We can't unmute you. Councillor Smart. Okay, could we move on? Could I rather then ask so that we can have this meeting started? May I ask, Councillor Smart, your hand is up, but your mic just needs to be unmuted. We cannot unmute you from this side. You need to unmute yourself by simply pressing on the button. No, Councillor, you can put your hand down. We'll move on. Thank you. Can I have Councillor Fry? Are you available? Can you open for us in prayer, please?
Speaker is not in yet.
Councillor Gericke, is he in?
He's also not in yet, Speaker.
All right. Could I then ask that we have 1 minute silence in retrospection, please? Thank you. 1 minute starting now. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, councillors and everybody. With that, Councillor Lowe, could we please keep your hands down until such time as we get into the agenda? There should be no reason for hands to be put up at this stage. I'd like to start off with the mayoral address, if I may. And for that, I'm going to hand over to the Mayor, Alderman Leon van Wyk. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. I see that my mic has now come on, so I've unmuted myself. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Good morning, Speaker, Aldermen, councillors, acting municipal manager, directors, officials, members of the media and the public. In the annual cycle of business for local government, the month of February heralds much activity as the adjustment budget is finalised for approval for council and the draft annual budget for the next medium-term revenue and expenditure framework, the NT-REF, period of 3 years is dealt with a great deal of earnestness. These processes follow on directly from January's business, where the results for the first 6 months of the financial year received, along with the audited report and annual financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2021, and then the draft annual report for 2021 was tabled. At the beginning of February, we once again encountered another round of load shedding as Eskom continues to struggle to consistently supply electricity to an already weakened South African economy. During Friday, the 4th of February's load shedding, the flowback of raw water being pumped to our balancing dams on our glass reinforced polymer, the GRP line, caused damage to a valve gasket and the water chamber at the Garden Route Dam. This damage required an immediate decision to insert a special valve at the new water treatment works to prevent loss of water from the balancing dams while work was undertaken to effect permanent repairs. This crucial work was completed on that Friday night. During this process, the old waterworks had to be shut down and raw water reserves in the balancing dams were depleted. The second older raw water line from the Garden Route Dam to the water treatment works, which is an asbestos cement line along the Cut River, had previously been damaged during the floods, but could not be repaired at that stage due to the risks of a potentially lengthy repair during a period where usage was extremely high. The acting municipal manager, the Civil and Engineering Services Directorate, the portfolio councillors and myself experienced a tense weekend on the 5th and 6th of February as we monitored on an hourly basis the depleting available water resources in our main reservoirs at the waterworks. The Water Department embarked on a proactive process that weekend and in the ensuing days to manage water demand being made available to the network in an effort to reduce usage in relation to the maximum daily treatment capacity of 39 megalitres. Over the past 2 weeks, this process has ensured that the main purified water reservoirs are now at least 85 to 90% full on a consistent basis, from being down to 5% and 10% 2 weeks earlier. It is hoped that this exercise will then help to stabilize usage at around 34 to 35 megalitres per day, taking usage levels back to where we were towards the end of November 2021. So I think we need to be very thankful that this has now taken place. The repairs to the Cut River raw water line should be completed in the next few days as replacement fittings are put in place. Specialized valve fittings are being custom manufactured for the GRP line at the Garden Route Dam, with the repair work on this line expected to be completed by the end of next month. In the meantime, water restrictions were imposed to assist in conserving water resources, which we trust will also assist in ensuring an adequate safety margin of treated water in our reservoirs for the foreseeable future. We thank those members of the public who have actively participated in reducing their usage to assist in averting reservoirs running dry. In the almost 100 days since coming to office, the water challenge, amongst others, has taught us the importance of remaining calm, of leadership, of working in teams, in seeking remedies and solutions. We have also learned how important it is to have access to data. The George Water Network, as is the case with wastewater, extends over some 990 kilometers, roughly the equivalent of both sides of the road from Knysna to Cape Town. So this gives a picture of the size of our network and its enormity in dealing with various issues. We have learned that as we modernize this network, that it will be important to include more telemetry, meters and valves in the networks to ensure greater intelligence and management tools for the future. Council is reminded that the capital projects are underway to increase water treatment capacity from the present 39 megalitres per day to 60 megalitres per day. In addition, refurbishment will also be undertaken at the old waterworks to increase their capacity by approximately 5 megalitres per day, which will provide additional relief over the next 18 to 24 months once these refurbishment projects in relation thereto are undertaken and completed. At the beginning of February, tenders to the value of 263 million rand were signed to commence work on the water treatment works project. Mr. Speaker, over the past year, we have intensified our attention on aging infrastructure and the need to undertake the required refurbishment. We are regularly made aware of the predicaments of many municipalities across the country that are experiencing lengthy water and electricity outages, or refuse is simply not being collected. To illustrate the need for effective operations and service delivery, we just need to look at the situation where without electricity, we are unable to pump raw water to be treated, or for sewage treatment plants to be operated. Without water, we are also unable to operate networks to transfer the sewage to the treatment plants. Infrastructure requires maintenance. It is also evident that good infrastructure attracts investment. A good example of this is the work that the Western Cape government has done to improve the road infrastructure in the province to facilitate the export of agricultural produce. Even though the Western Cape only occupies approximately 10% of the South African land area, it produces over 20% of the agricultural produce and is responsible for 53% of the South African agricultural produce that is exported. The floods of 22 November and the subsequent heavy rains damaged infrastructure and resulted in a substantial claim of over 200 million from disaster funds. Although these requests have been supported by province, they still need to be approved by national government. And if so, the indication is that such relief will only be paid over a 3-year period. In the meantime, the municipality has already addressed the most critical issues, such as water and sewage network failures. A conscious decision has been taken in the adjustment budget for the 21-22 year that is being presented to Council today to undertake over 19 million rands worth of expenditure, for example, with regard to streets, sidewalks, stormwater, etc., to undertake repairs and maintenance. The funding for this work will be sourced out of retained reserves until the disaster relief funds are then received. The Electrotech Directorate has requested and will receive funding to undertake preventative maintenance on the electricity network over the next few months. Council will no doubt be aware that there have been numerous outages in recent months. Of concern are the delays being experienced in the construction of the 66 to 11 kV electrical substation in Tembeletu, where community members are frustrating efforts of the contractors to undertake this project that is essential for stable electricity supply to Tembeletu. An amount of 15 million rand has had to be deferred from the budget this year to next year. I wish to urge Tembeletu councillors to assist in ensuring that this project is progressed and not delayed any further. The focus in both the adjustment budget and the forthcoming annual budget is on transforming the budget to one that tackles the capital expenditure requirements of the municipality, that on the one hand requires refurbishment of infrastructure that is aging and/or requires upgrading, increasing capacity, and also then on the other hand to cater for the influx of residents relocating to George from elsewhere in the country. Our recent experience of pressures on water usage that is reaching and exceeding treatment capacity is but one example of the need to undertake this expenditure. Initial discussions on the capital expenditure needs of the various directorates for the new budget indicate that other than the capital works to be undertaken with the BFI funding, there are requests to spend in the vicinity of 750 million rand, while available resources may only permit 50 to 60% of that amount, which may require possibly 300 million rand of spending to be deferred to the future. Some tough decisions will therefore need to be undertaken as projects get filtered down to the most critical. In the past few months, it has become evident that we should be looking at how we provide greater levels of safety for our citizens in the form of CCTV cameras, electronic detection of increasing levels of vandalism, how to manage illegal dumping more effectively, provide better maintenance for buildings, replace vehicles and equipment that have reached their useful lives, and to upgrade sport fields, etc. There is also an urgent need to review the entire revenue base of the municipality. It has been a concern of mine for a number of years that increases in our various revenue streams are lower than the growth rates that are attributed to George, once one has extracted inflation from the calculation. We will therefore need to address whether our tariffs are cost reflective. With refurbishment, replacement, and upgrading of infrastructure, cost structures that were previously applied would need to reflect current replacement costs. There is also probably the need to make use of GIS, Geographic Information Systems technology, to interrogate whether all services are being correctly levied and accounted for on every earth within the municipal area. One of the burdens for local government has been that the electricity tariffs imposed on municipalities by nurses' approvals of Eskom tariffs are well above inflation rates, and they have crowded out the ability to impose more realistic tariffs for other services that would also be more cost reflective. In the coming days and weeks, much attention will therefore be paid to those various aspects as directorates finalize their project plans. Budgets always require the rationing of scarce capital resources, which are always limited. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I would like to thank our staff, ably led by our Acting Municipal Manager, Dr. Gratz, for their dedication and perseverance in dealing with some difficult tasks this past month. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mayor, for your address. Having said that, we'd like to move on. Could I have the speakers in reply to the mayoral address, please put their hands up, and we will start off with the ANC. If you put your hand up, the ANC speaker, you can then go forward. Who will be speaking on behalf of the ANC, please? By show of hands. ANC, who will be speaking on behalf of the ANC? Faith Ndaka, your hand was up. Is your hand still up, Faith? Are you speaking, Councillor Ndaka? Are you speaking on behalf of the ANC, please? Your hand?
Yes, Speaker.
Please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice. First of all, I'm not sure if I must say thank you for the mayoral address or what. You know what? First of all, if our people from the location, all the locations are surrounding the CPT are listening now, they will doubt that this mayor is their mayor, because less stuff from the locations that has been set here, only CPD, only people coming from outside, resourcing to George, everything, it's about CPD, it's about CPD. I think, Mayor, you should start to realize that the people that voted for you and this mayoral committee are outside there in the locations. So you must start realizing that, and you must make sure that those people are serviced, and stop bringing everything to the CPT. I again hear nothing about the informal settlement. All these towns, Tembale to Pakastorp, have informal settlements. There's no water there, there's no toilets there, there's no electricity there. We've got people that are staying there for many years, about 3 years, 4 years. Those people are not being serviced, but you are not speaking anything about those things. And it's what we want. It's what our the services. Stop telling us about the people coming from outside to come to George and enjoy your wealth or you enjoy whatever. We want service, Mayor. From now on, please change your speech. please change your mayoral address to speak to the communities of George. The communities of George are outside there, are not the people, only the people that are staying in the CPT. If we can know that, then we will be doing the George people great. But if you don't do that, really, Mayor, it's useless. It's very useless that you will be doing mayoral address every time mayoral address, but you don't speak to the location. It's bad. We are coming from the location, and we know that how our people are suffering there. You're speaking about the illegal dumping here. The illegal dumping, we are struggling, but we have to call many times so that the trucks can come and clean there. There are illegal dumping that are in front of the school that has to every day. It has to be like that.
Are you finished, Councillor Ndaka?
To speak to the communities of George. Thank you very much. And please, Mayor, create jobs. This municipality has not created jobs for our people. Our people are suffering there. Our people are hungry there. The people there want jobs. Why this municipality doesn't create jobs? Why? Only EPWP. Why? And what is the EPWP doing?
20
We've been saying
seconds.
that it's fine. We've been saying that more than years, saying that the EPWP must give people skills, but there are no skills that this municipality is producing. Why are we here? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Ndaka. You can put your hand down. I do not see a hand for good. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Anybody from good that would like to reply? There's still no hand. Councillor Lowe, I see you. Thank you very much. Could you unmute yourself and continue for, you have 3 minutes, Councillor. Councillor Lowe, you need to unmute yourself. Councillor Lowe, you're unmuted. You need to unmute yourself on the button, please, as per normal. I'm going to ask Councillor Alderman Gericke to continue, and can IT please contact Councillor Lowe to explain to her the unmuting. It seems as though she has cannot find the unmute button.
Speaker.
Sorry, who's that now?
There's Councillor Fortuin, Jai. Speaker.
Councillor Jai.
Ek wil jou baie mooi vra vandag. Ek verjaar vandag en ek wil baie mooi vra.
Councillor, please.
Councillor was juist voor die Mayoral adres. En u wou haar nie 'n geleentheid gee want ons wil vir jou sê met die probleme wat ons ondervind. Nie een van ons laptops op werk.
Councillor Jay, I'm asking you to, I've asked all the councillors in a memo which I have dated to please log in early. I have got, therefore, there was no reason, the IT is busy doing it. We are going to, please answer the mayoral address and let's stick to the agenda. If you want to reply to the mayoral address, you have your opportunity now. Otherwise, we will move on to the next speaker. Councillor Hector, I have not addressed you, please.
I'm asking.
Askies?
As raadslid Hector.
Ek weet dis raadslid Hector en ek vra vir asseblief, julle is almal op een
adres. Speaker.
Councillor Hector, I have not.
Die gemeenskap van George, hierdie adres van die mayor. Is totaal en al niks zeggend oor die gemeenskap nie.
Thank you.
Dit is uitsluitlik vir 'n klein groepie elite gemeenskap en dit is waarvoor die DA is om wit belange te bevorder.
Please remove Councillor Hector.
Dit is hartseer wat ons in hierdie tragiese oomblikke
please remove that
Pakkelsdorp Hoërskool huidiglik 'n groot onmenslike situasie het. 'n Situasie wat veroorsaak is deur die DA regering waar hulle vele projekte daar gesit het, huise gebou het.
Speaker, you are muted.
Thank you. I took a few seconds to stay quiet for the simple reason I will not accept any ill discipline in today's meeting. If I do not recognize you, I'm going to ask you to stay quiet. In accordance with Rule 4, I have made that ruling and I'm going to stick with it today. I've asked the good party who will be discussing their matter. I was interjected by Councillor J.E., then Councillor Hector started talking. Councillor Hector, I've given you one warning. I would like to know from good who is discussing this matter, and that person will discuss for 3 minutes. Councillor Lowe's hand was up. I therefore take it that Councillor Lowe will be addressing. Am I correct? Please put your hand up if you agree. Otherwise, we are moving on to Councillor Gericke. Alderman Gericke, sorry. Stephanie, could you please unmute Alderman Gericke for 3 minutes, please? Or I'll do it. Alderman Gericke, you can go ahead for 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself. Councillor Gericke. Please unmute yourself, Alderman Gericke. We cannot. Councillor Gericke, you can.
Mr. Speaker.
Now I can hear you, thank you.
Okay, can I just understand, I logged in late. Can I understand what is happening here, please? What is the thing with this muting and unmuting? Because we are muted permanently here. So how did you explain this in the beginning how it's going to work?
Councillor Gericke, this is exactly why I am doing this. There are microphones that go on and off during the meeting. And in order to have clarity and direction and discipline, I have said that we will unmute, and I'm about to explain it after the mayoral address, that I have unmuted, we have muted everybody, and you will be unmuted as your time is to speak to prevent anybody from interjecting.
Okay, so I understand what you say. The thing is just we are struggling here and we are wasting time and so on.
The process is exactly the same, Councillor.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm not putting up an argument or being confrontational with you. I'm saying that you have been in the other morning. You should have explained this to us.
Alderman Gericke, exactly what is happening now is the reason why we've muted all the microphones.
Yeah.
Could you please address the mayoral speech, and I'll explain everything afterwards, please. Then we can carry on with this meeting.
Mr. Speaker, this is just so upsetting what's happening here. Ek weet nie eens of ek wil praat op die mayoral address here. You've got to find a solution for all this, eh? It's upon you to find a solution for us. To govern this council meeting in a disciplined and orderly way, without stifling debate.
Alderman Gericke, I've asked you to please, we can discuss this afterwards. Can you please address the mayoral speech and then we can discuss this?
If you don't want me to discuss my concerns, then you can exclude me from this meeting. I'm asking you, if you don't want to listen to me, then exclude me.
Councillor Gericke, we can discuss this in my chambers. It's not a problem. But at this stage of the game, we're sticking with
we cannot discuss this in the chamber because this has got a bearing on this meeting.
Councillor, I've asked you to continue with your address,
but
and
I'm asking you to come up with a solution. You cannot.
I've made a ruling, Councillor.
Sir, you can make a ruling, but you cannot just suppress us all the time when we
I'm not
express
suppressing
our
you,
concerns.
Councillor Gericke.
I'm
I've
asking
made
you
a ruling.
to make your ruling, so I'm
Thank you.
asking
You
you
can
to
be
exclude me
muted.
from the
I
meeting.
take it you do not want to discuss the
You
mayoral
can do
address.
whatever you
You're
like. The thing
attacking
is,
me.
we are discussing our concerns, and you've got to listen to us. Why are you jumping to this all the time to exclude us and to mute us?
I'm not going to excuse you. Stay on topic, please.
So why don't you discuss? Why don't you explain to
I
us
will
what?
have a meeting after this meeting with
No,
you.
you
I'm
cannot
not
have a
discussing it
meeting after the
in
meeting.
public. Thank you.
You cannot have the meeting after the meeting. You
Please,
have to discuss it with us.
Councillor Gericke, I will exclude you if you continue.
You,
Please address the
sir,
mayor.
Speaker, you have no
I've made a
respect.
ruling. Thank
You
you.
have no respect for us as councillors. You have no respect for us.
Can I please continue with the next speaker, please? The next party to speak is the EFF. Councillor Nkamile.
Are you going to listen to what I'm saying, sir?
Speaker. Speaker. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Councillor Nkamile. You can go ahead with your 3 minutes.
Yes, I also have a problem, Speaker. And then it will be like we are not cooperating with in
Councillor
the
Nkamile, I'm going to say the same thing to you as what
No,
I said to Alderman Gericke.
Speaker,
Please
it
address
can't
the
go like-
mayoral speech and not me. Thank you. I'm not entertaining debate. Thank you.
Speaker, but it's affecting the meeting. It's affecting the meeting the way we are being
Councillor,
told here. It's like now
speak
we are being
on
controlled.
the mayoral address.
We are being controlled with the remote control here. We are
Yes.
determining when to talk.
I've made
we
the
must
ruling
talk,
and I'm going
when
to
we must
stick
not
with it.
talk. And then it's not worth it. It's against the law.
Thank you,
It's against
Councillor.
the law. In this
It's not
country,
against the law,
no,
Councillor. I'm having
we can't
discipline in the meeting. Thank
over,
you.
over. We can't. It's not worth it. And then it's not worth it. It will be like we are not behaving. But we
Councillor, all the councillors, I have taken control of all the microphones due to the fact that every single meeting we have this disarray. We are going to stay to the rules. If you do not want to listen to what I have to say, then I have no option but to have you removed. Every meeting we get to the same stuff, and I've made my ruling. If you're not going to speak to the item of the mayor, then I will move on and I will leave it at that. I am not going to entertain any further debate regarding this. We have the same discussion every time, and I'm therefore moving on. If you would like to discuss and the item of the mayoral address, you may put your hand up. Otherwise, I am not going to entertain your continued disruption of this meeting. Thank you. The next person to speak on this is Councillor Smart. Councillor Smart, please unmute yourself and continue with this with your 3 minutes, please. Councillor Smart, your mic is ready to be unmuted, Councillor Smart. Could I please ask for a 5-minute adjournment? There seems to be a misunderstanding or some realization of how the microphones work. I'm asking for a 5-minute recess. I'm going to speak to IT quickly, please. Thank you. Thank you for your indulgence, councillors, council and administration. I have resolved the issue with IT, and I am going to add that I previously sent out an email or a WhatsApp, or not a WhatsApp, a memo to all the councillors to test their equipment, and if they were not happy with it, to report to IT. It seems as though certain councillors did not, and therefore we are having these issues. I am therefore going to continue with this meeting. I am going to ask that we resume at Councillor Smart, who needs to simply unmute his microphone. He did not test his microphone earlier or his system, and if there's a problem, IT is busy trying to sort it out. Councillor Hector, your hand is up, although Good has indicated through their previous talk. Are you going to speak on this item? And if I unmute you, are you going to speak to the item of the mayor, please? Councillor Hector. Councillor Hector. Alderman. Yes. Sorry, councillors. I've just received information from various sources. There seems to be a technical problem which needs to be resolved. I am therefore asking for a 10-minute recess. We'll go into recess for 10 minutes so that IT can sort this issue out, and I will report back to you at 10 to 10. Please bear with us. This is a technical problem and we need to have it sorted out so this meeting can continue in a fashion which is acceptable to everybody. Thank you very much for your understanding. We'll be back at 10 to 10. Councillors, can we please resume this meeting? There have been technical issues, and IT is busy addressing it. Again, I'm going to reiterate, there was an opportunity and a memo sent out to everybody to have your devices checked before today's meeting. Unfortunately, not everybody heeded to the request. Not everybody logged in early to make sure that their devices are working properly, and we are now sitting with this issue. I'm going to continue with this meeting and ask that the AC, and I'm going to go back to good PBI and EFF once everybody is in. We do have a problem with the systems, which has been confirmed by IT, and Councillor Smart is on his way to IT right now. So, Councillor Tampe, are you going to be speaking on behalf of the IEC, the EFF regarding the mayoral address? I presume Councillor Levuyo. Councillor Nkomile, are you going to be speaking on the address, please? Your mic is on. You can speak for 3 minutes.
Speaker, really, this is not worth it. It's
Councillor,
not that,
I'm not going to address this again.
And then
Please address the mayoral speech. I'm
So
not
now-
going to address it. I've made a ruling. If you're going to continue with this, I will mute you and move on.
This is how are we going
Address,
to
address the mayoral speech.
this is how our rights are going to be violated, Speaker.
No, if you listen to me, I'm
No,
asking you now to continue. You obviously do not want to speak about the mayoral address, and you want to address me
You
on
want to,
another
but-
issue.
But the way the meeting is controlled is not what.
Councillor Levuyo and Camille, I've made a ruling and you are disobeying it. I'm therefore moving on to the next speaker, and I'm moving on to the ACDP, Councillor Johan de Toy. You are the next person to speak on this item.
Okay,
Please,
Speaker,
you continue with
item.
your 3 minutes, please.
Thank you, Speaker, for this opportunity. Speaker, I want to thank the Mayor for a comprehensive report on the waterworks, etc., that's hampering our town. But I want to thank all our staff and everybody that's working 24/7 to keep the water on for our citizens of George. The Mayor said the upkeeping of our infrastructure that's old is it is a must, and we must see to it, Speaker, because our infrastructure is the backbone of our city, and the enormous influx of people into our town and by to this problem. But Speaker, we must see to the upkeep of our infrastructure, and it must be updated. Mayor, we can't just raise tariffs every year. It is time that we as a council start thinking out of the box how to address these problems. But otherwise, thank you everybody for your hard work and upkeeping, and try keeping George on the map. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor de Toy. The next person to speak on this item is the Freedom Front, Councillor van Niekerk.
Thank you, Speaker. Through you to the Mayor. Mayor, thank you for your mayoral address. Surely you could have taken it much wider, but on the other hand, you've only had so much time to you available to you, and you are confined to what is necessary, and you've done a good job about that. We will not, or you will never satisfy each and every person. One person would like you to talk about A, B, and C. The other one says, no, you must rather talk about X, Y, and Z. Same with the budget speech yesterday by the Honorable Minister of Finance. Not everybody is happy, but in general, he's done a good job. So you've also done a good job. Speaker, through again to the Mayor, load shedding will be a factor to deal with for the years to come. And I've listened to what you said about our damaged infrastructure. Now, these damaged infrastructure, which is a direct result of load shedding, can cause serious repercussions for the municipality and to the severe detriment of our residents. Water is a must. And we're running the risk with this unsatisfactory electricity supply rendered by Eskom at present. Now, you can have the best infrastructure in the world. We can upgrade it as much as we wish, but without a reliable source of electricity, the whole operation will be as strong as our electricity supplier. Hence, we want to urge you to venture into alternative power supply for the city of George. And we really feel that this needs to be, and we've got this 20% price hike looming, and June is around the corner. Then it's going to become a reality. And surely the majority of the residents of George cannot afford another 20% price increase. And you know, and I know, Mayor, with all due respect, if it's enforced on the city of George, we will have no option, and that hike will go through. So if there is an alternative power supply source, and there are, it needs to be investigated. It needs to be further. As far as, and there I join my Councillor De Toy, with regards to realistic rates and taxes, the burden is quite high on our residents. And indigence situations increase every year, every month. More and more people are becoming dependent on indigency. So, if we look at that, let's look at it constructively, and let's take in consideration the present economic situation, the present increase in prices across the board, and let's act accordingly to that. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor van Niekerk. We've gone through the list, and based on the technical problems that we have experienced, and in order to create fairness, I would like to ask, I see Councillor Tampe, his hand is up for the EFF, and I'd like to ask her if she's going to discuss the mayoral address. If so, Councillor Tampe, you are welcome to go ahead for 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and continue. Councillor Tampe, I've been giving you an opportunity to talk. Your mic is unmuted. You are welcome to continue. I'm going to ask you one more time, and then I'm going to move on. Councillor Smart, are you back in the meeting? Councillor Smart, I see your hand is up and you are back in the meeting. Your mic is unmuted. You are welcome to go ahead. I'm just checking the messages, sorry. Councillor Smart, you are back in the meeting. I see that. You are not unmuted. All you need to do is push the microphone button, unmute yourself and continue. Councillor Smart. Unfortunately, Councillor Smart, I've done everything in my power to help you with this. You are not muted. You are able to unmute yourself. It is on the screen that you are unmuted. All you need to do is push the button. Councillor Gericke, you had it. Sorry, there seems to be. You are not muted, Councillor Smart. On my system, you are unmuted. Can I therefore just ask the DA, Councillor Adams? I presume you are talking on behalf of the DA.
Morning, Speaker. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you, Speaker. That was easy to unmute myself. I want to thank you for that. Speaker, I want to thank the Mayor for a very good opening speech. Water treatment, Speaker. Water purifying is for everyone in George. It's not only for the CBD. I don't know where that comes from, that it's only for certain people, but water purification is for everyone. We all know the problems in Thembalethu in regards to the electricity, and I want to thank the Mayor for his role that he's played there. Also for the role that he's played to supply our people in Pakkersdorp informal settlement with electricity there. Speaker, the Mayor has spoken about upgrading our water infrastructure and paving. If I just go outside of my door in our streets, I can see that happening. So it's also not in the CBD. The President, Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa, made it very clear in the SONA 2022 speech. He said that government cannot create jobs, and it is the government's duty to create an environment that will allow private business to thrive. So the municipality, Speaker, is not directly responsible for creating jobs. That is due to our business partners, and we are doing that. Mayor, I also want to thank you for the people in my ward who's receiving work while they're busy with the upgrading of our infrastructure in Tiptoe Street as well as Main Street. I've also seen some upgrades in Thembalethu, and I've also seen they are working there, so I thank you for that. And Mayor, thank you very much for the leadership that you've been playing with the upgrade of the water and making sure that George water doesn't go off for more than 1 or 2 days. I want to thank you for that role, and I want to thank the team also that played a good role in making sure that George's water is on par. It's not like when you go to KZN or you go to Gauteng and the water is off for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Thank you for your leadership role that you've played there. There will always be populism amongst our opposition, Mayor, and for that we must just be patient. Thank you very much for being a good leader, and thank you for getting George over the bridge and back again. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, we seriously have questions regarding the technology today. For the sake of fairness, I am going to ask one more time, and I'm going to unmute the microphone of Councillor Gericke, who is now unmuted on my side. He can push the button and he can discuss the 3 minutes. There seems to be this confusion regarding the allowing of the mute and unmute. It's very strange that certain people can. Councillor Gericke, of Alderman Gericke, please unmute your microphone. I can't continue like this. I'm going to contact IT. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Let me try this. Councillor Gericke, can you unmute now?
Can you hear me now, Speaker?
Now I can hear you.
Sorry, Speaker, I can also speak now. I see that I can unmute. It's Councillor Smart. Sorry, Alderman Gericke. My apologies.
It's fine. You may proceed, Councillor Smart.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. We are working according to the Speaker. You can speak, Councillor Gericke. You was before me. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope you get your hands on the pulse with regard to this IT thing. But on the mayoral speech, the fact of the matter is I take cognizance of what the colleagues on the other side are saying and how they sing the praises of the mayor. We are not in a popular or populist competition in this council. We are advocating on behalf of our communities. We live in our communities. We stay in our communities. We have property in our communities, and we live through the very same circumstances. So when we raise issues of service delivery, this is the real reflection of what is happening on the ground. So we are not trying to score points, Mr. Speaker. We articulate this which our communities experience at the moment. So yes, Mr. Mayor, the water supply is a problem at the moment. The interruption of electricity supply is a problem at the moment. The aging infrastructure is a problem at the moment. And we want to call on you to make haste to restore service delivery in the city, because every day we receive notifications of interruptions, whether it's electricity, whether it's water, whether it's the collapse of whatever infrastructure. There's just severe problems at the moment. And we are not expecting you as the leader, as the political leader of the city, to hide behind excuses. You must come out and say, this is the program that the DA, Freedom Front and ACDP coalition has in order to restore service delivery issues in the city again. Because suddenly there's a collapse of services at the moment. So we will not take kind to personal attacks about being popular or populist or whatever. This is just pure nonsense. We are speaking on behalf of our communities. You've got to restore the aging infrastructure. And the reason why that infrastructure is aging, it's not because of exclusively because of the problems of Eskom. Some of this is because of the political games that you have played as the DA in the past, and you did not prioritize service delivery issues. You know how destabilized this council was. It's upon you now, incumbent upon you, to bring order, instill order, and appoint the right people in the right positions. Take out the political appointees and get the people that can do the job first time right. Take out the consultants that are being prioritized first in line to benefit from these projects, like the 260 million rand project that you have now announced.
30 seconds.
Yeah, so get all those consultants out and get all those contractors out that mean nothing to the city. Get people that can do the job in line with the relevant legislation of preferential procurement and empowerment, and let us do the job. And teach your councillors, your junior councillors, the right way to speak politics and not talking nonsensical stuff on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Alderman Gericke. I'm going to give one last chance to Councillor Smart. You have 3 minutes, and then we're moving on.
Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I would just like to apologize to the community out there that, as you've explained, that we have some technical problems. So it wasn't me not want to pray and to open the meeting. But thank you very much as well to the mayor. Mayor, you've You've given us a comprehensive report on issues that are very important for our city. And yes, thank you for addressing, the supply of water and all of those stuff that you've mentioned and getting it under control. I mean, I've been a victim myself, of these floods and so on, but thank you very much for addressing that. And it includes, it includes all the whole of the community. But for me, what is really standing out, the speaker and Mayor, for us who's been in the financial industry for quite a long time and so on, I see that that everybody, including the government, is addressing, this macroeconomics, but we are not really looking into microeconomics, to bring for ourselves, a stimulus type of project where we can, because we need to engage poverty with all that we can, with what it need. So the thing is, you are not talking a lot, Mayor, about SMMEs, and I heard you talk a lot about the agricultural issue, but I've been very involved in assisting small scale farmers for the last 5 years, and it was I spoke to the previous mayor, I spoke to the land department with regards to assisting small scale farmers, and to my
30 seconds.
To my dissatisfaction, there wasn't even a policy with regards to small scale farming in how to to assist from LED, how to assist SMMEs. So for me, to address poverty, we need to look at the microeconomics of choice as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. With that, we have concluded the item 1. Could I ask all the councillors to please put your hands down? I am not taking any further hands on this. And with that, I'm going to move on to item 2 of the agenda. Item 3 at least, is applications for leave of absence. Have there been, have there been any leave of absence from your side?
Morning, Speaker. Yes, Councillor Saptu gave his apologies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry,
Councillor Levoyer.
Before you go further, Councillor Peliswa, his hands was up.
Councillor, I'm going to give you the last warning. I will recognize, I've spoken to Councillor Kampe. A few times I've asked her to speak and she did not speak.
Speaker, can I correct you on that, please? Because the last time you asked me to speak, I told you, I write down there on the message inbox that I could not speak because I was muted. And you keep on saying I must press a button. I don't know what button because I keep on pressing, but
Councillor,
muted.
Councillor, I have made a ruling. We are moving on.
It's fine, Speaker, if you said
I gave Councillor Levoyer an opportunity to speak on the item. He did not.
No, you
very
can
much.
on as long as
Thank
it
you.
is because that you
Thank
say
you.
and our
Councillor,
input.
when I speak, you are quiet.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank
Keep
you.
out quiet because you want us to.
I'm going to move on. We've had applications of leave. One application for leave, Councillor Saptu. I'm now going to ask for the roll call to be read by the corporate services. Could you please go ahead with the roll call? All councillors to answer your name, and then administration to put your presence, acknowledge your presence in the in the chat box, please.
Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Adams.
Councillor Adams is here. The non-populist is here.
Councillor America.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Barnard.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Brown.
Morning, present.
Councillor Bayes.
Teenwoordig, speaker.
Councillor Clark.
Present.
Councillor Cronje.
Present.
Councillor Dutoy.
Present, Speaker.
Councillor Esau.
Teenwoordig.
Councillor Vigeland, ED.
Present.
Councillor Vigeland, RG.
Present.
Councillor Frey. Councillor Frey. Alderman Gericke.
Yes, present.
Councillor Goom.
Present, ma'am, but I'm having a problem with my laptop to log in again. I don't know what's happening. Thank you.
Councillor Geoff.
Teenwoordig, Speaker.
Councillor Gouldier.
Good morning, Councillor Gultig present.
Councillor Hani.
Good morning, present, speaker.
Councillor Hector. Councillor Hector.
He's in the building, trying to log in.
Councillor Isa.
Teenwoordig, speaker.
Councillor Hill.
Hill present.
Yes.
Councillor Jantjies.
Present, speaker. Good day.
Councillor Jay. Councillor Jay. Councillor Johnson.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Kleinhans.
Good morning, present.
Alderman Kritzinger.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Krieger.
Good morning,
Present.
Councillor Lento.
Present, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Lawson.
Dikona.
Councillor Low, NM.
Teenwoordig.
Councillor Low, RMI. Councillor Low, RMI. Councillor Manxele.
Present.
Councillor Mbete.
Morning, present.
Councillor Mdaka, ET.
Morning, Speaker. Morning, councillors present.
Councillor Mdaka, F.
Do we have a women speaker now? I'm present.
Councillor Mkhukuli.
Ngikona sisi. Mkhulukulu senemnyama. Strong nyimini.
Councillors, please refrain from making remarks. This is your remarks are uncalled for. Can you please just indicate your attendance and leave it at that, please? Thank you.
Councillor Ngamile.
I'm present.
Councillor Nietla.
Teenwoordig, dankie.
Councillor Niels.
Teenwoordig, dankie.
Councillor Tondini.
Present, Madam.
Alderman Petrus. Alderman Petrus.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Katana.
Good morning, Decorn.
Councillor Kampi, Councillor P. Kampi,
Present, Speaker.
Councillor Rolofse,
Good morning, present.
Councillor Safus, Councillor Safus, Councillor Simos,
Good morning, present.
Councillor Smart,
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Snyman,
Present.
Councillor Titus, Councillor Titus.